We are at the BMO Mines and Metals Conference here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Joining me now is the CEO and founder of First Majestic, Keith Neumeyer. Keith, thanks for being with me today.
Well, thanks very much for the invite.
So Keith, you spoke here at the conference. What was your message that you're bringing regarding your company?
Well, growth. You know, in 2013, we're going to experience 40% growth year over year in our silver production, and we're not getting any value for that right now. And it's just, it's creating a real opportunity in this market for the value investor.
But besides, I guess, your company, what's the vibe you've been feeling amongst the audience here and other CEOs regarding the mining industry?
Well, there's definitely an exodus going on. We're seeing some mass redemptions going on in the sector right now, and it's causing a lot of pressure on mining stocks. It's very unfortunate, but you know, as I said, it's creating an opportunity for the institutions that are here at this conference, because these are really the core value investors at the BMO Conference.
Keith, what do you think is adding to the pressure to the industry?
Well, I think it's, you know, cost overruns and marginal assets that have been brought online. I think it's a multitude of things. That's kind of started it, and this kind of negative vibe about the mining sector. And then, you know, the fact that, you know, this perception that we're getting to the end of, you know, printing of money,
right,
you know, had some pressure on gold. And it's just kind of been this, you know, perfect storm type of situation, right, that's going on. And you know, I look at this as similar to 2001, 2002, when you had people saying, I'm not going to invest in mining ever again. And then all of a sudden, you know, the bull market starts. And, you know, I'm hearing things like that now. And it's kind of, even though it's difficult to tolerate, it's actually, I think this is one of the best buying opportunities we've seen in the last 5 years.
Well, on Wednesday, definitely, it was announced, well, Bernanke spoke yesterday, it definitely seems that money printing will continue now. But what else do you think is needed for a turnaround to help the stocks?
Well, you know, once the institutions decide to put a trade on, it's kind of hard to unwind it. And the flavor of the day trade right now seems to be short gold and long the major equity markets. You know, I think it's a crazy trade myself, but a lot of these hedge funds are taking that trade on, and is buoying up the stock market, and of course putting pressure on gold. And what is it going to take to turn that? I don't know, but you know, it's setting up a situation where, you know, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, we could see gold up $100, $200 in a matter of a very short period of time.
So Keith, let's focus on First Majestic now. Your earnings came out on Tuesday. They were down. Can you tell us a little bit about the numbers that came out?
Well, the production was up. We went from 7.5 million ounces to 8.3 million ounces, and but it wasn't enough to sustain the revenue line to match the silver decline. Silver was down year over year, $5 an ounce. That was a, you know, big decline, and we went from $1.55 in cash flow in 2011 to $1.35 in cash flow in 2012. So it's still a significant number, but yeah, I thought the stock would be up, mind you, as a result of that, but we put the numbers out and the stock was down, unfortunately.
Keith, I have to ask you, how much of a role did the Oracle Silver deal or fallout of the deal really play a role?
Well, initially when we announced it back in December, the stock was $23.50. And all of a sudden, of course, the arbitrage traders come in, they start shorting our stock and then going long the Oracle stock, and that created this arbitrage effect, which put a lot of pressure on our stock. And then when we unwound it just last week, we announced we weren't going to do it. Our stock was up actually in the aftermarket over $1. It got up to $19 from about 17. But unfortunately, the day when the market opened, the silver was down 80 cents that day. So of course, the stock closed down on, you know, what was considered to be good news.
So how did you personally take the news about the Oracle deal?
Yeah, I don't let ego get involved in my business decisions. So you know, it's easy to allow ego to get involved, but I think it's the wrong way of running a business. Every decision that you have to make as a CEO is all financially driven. You know, you have to look at the bottom line and see what it means to shareholders at the end of the day. And the price got to a point where it just didn't make sense anymore, and we had to walk away.
Keith, how many ounces of silver do you think you're sitting on?
Sitting on? Well, you know, 43101 guidelines don't let me answer that question, but you know, it's much more. We have 383 million ounces defined in the ground with our 43101s. We're updating all our 43101s this year. We drilled 200,000 meters of drilling in the last 2 years, in which we've not updated any of our reports, and that's all happening this year. That 383 million is going to change dramatically this year.
So how many mines does First Majestic have, and where are they exactly?
We have 5 producing mines in Mexico, and they're all Mexico. So I've kept the story very simple. One country, one metal. You're not going to wake up in the morning and see us in Peru or Argentina. We're going to focus on Mexico. All our assets are there. And you're not going to see us divest out of silver, get into gold or other metals. We're 91% pure silver right now. We're one of the pure silver companies in the world, and we're going to maintain that.
Okay, so focused on Mexico. I just came back from a mining trip in Mexico, and I have to say I was really impressed by the infrastructure, by the workers. What do you think are some of the benefits of mining in Mexico?
Well, regulation for sure. To get a mine permitted in one of the friendly states like Zacatecas or Durango or Jalisco, you're talking 6 months or at least less than 12 months to get a full permit to start operations. That's unheard of in the world. In the United States or Canada, sometimes you may possibly never even get a permit, depending on obviously its location. So I think the risk to shareholders is much lower by investing in companies that are invested in Mexico. I'm very excited about Mexico. There's a lot of investment going on. The peso's been strong. The economy's booming in Mexico, and it's really the place to be, I think, for mining companies.
So, Keith, most of the silver that's mined, is it kept within Mexico, or where are you exporting to?
Well, it's a good question. We don't really know where the silver goes at the end of the day. We could ask, the traders, because our silver's sold through New York. We have a group of traders that sell our silver. We use 3 of the big banks that do it, and they direct the smelters or the refiners to ship it to wherever their buyer is, and it mostly goes to commercial industry, circuit board manufacturing or window manufacturing businesses.
Keith, finally, let's talk silver price projections. Are you bullish on the metal?
I am. Supply-demand fundamentals. I'm a big fundamental trader. I think that the ratio we have right now between gold and silver is way out of whack. We should get down to 10 to 1 or 15 to 1 at least. And what that means for gold, I'm not certain. But I'm certain that we will see triple-digit silver sometime in the next few years. Sometime
within the next few years, triple-digit silver. That sounds bullish to me, Keith.
Well, you see the uses. There's more patents on silver than any other metal, and we're consuming it. The above-ground supplies of metal, of silver, are at historic lows, and we just keep using it up, and there's no end to that.
Fantastic. Keith, final thoughts for investors watching?
Well, just look for our growth. You got to sometimes turn your screen off and invest in fundamentally good companies that are managed well, that have good assets, that have growth ahead of them, that are profitable, and turn your screen off. Turn your screen off. Keith, thanks so much for being with us. Well, don't turn Kitco News off. No, of course not. No. The source of everyone goes to Kitco for their gold and silver quotes, of course. I probably do it 20 times a day myself. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for contributing to our hit count, Keith. And thanks for watching this edition of Kitco News. You can email me any comments or questions at newsfeedback@kitco.com or follow this conversation at Daniela Cambone. Thanks for watching.